They cut the power line to my emergency generator on a Tuesday morning. No warning, no notice, just a HOA maintenance crew in yellow vests, bolt cutters in hand, and a smirk on the face of the woman who ordered it done. By Friday, the entire neighborhood was plunged into darkness, and the only house with lights, heat, and a working sump pump was mine. But we'll get there. If stories like this make your blood boil and your sense of justice scream for satisfaction, you're exactly where you belong. Hit subscribe on HOA Drama Neighbor right now, because we don't just tell these stories. We document every rule, every loophole, and every moment the little guy finally wins. My name is Arthur Pendleton, and I've lived at 88 Birchwood Crest for 11 years. I bought the house specifically because of the home backup generator I had installed in year 2. A 22-kilowatt Generac unit hardwired to the natural gas line mounted on a concrete pad on the east side of my house. It cost me $9,400. I pulled every permit. I had the gas companies sign off. My electrician, a licensed master named Marcus Thorne, filed the paperwork with the county. Then Evelyn Harper became president. Within 6 months, she'd issued 47 violation notices across the neighborhood. 47 trash cans visible from the street, flower pots the wrong color. One man got cited for a wind chime. I got my first notice 8 months into her tenure. It read, "Your exterior mechanical unit at the east side elevation is in violation of HOA architectural standards. Section 4.2b, unapproved exterior additions. You have 30 days to remove or remediate. Failure to comply will result in fines of $150 per day." I scanned it, emailed it to Evelyn, and considered the matter closed. Her reply came 40 minutes later. That approval was issued under the previous administration and is not recognized under current standards. The unit must be removed. Save every email, Lorraine told me. Every single one. 2 weeks later, a laminated notice appeared, zip-tied to my generator's safety cage. It listed 4 alleged violations, including one that cited a section of the HOA bylaws that, when I looked it up, didn't exist. Section 7.11d. There is no Section 7.11 in the Birchwood Crest HOA bylaws. I photographed the notice. I photographed the bylaw document. I emailed both to Evelyn with a simple question. Can you direct me to the page where Section 7.11d appears in the current bylaws? I cannot locate it. No response. The fines started appearing on my account 2 days later. $150 a day, backdated 2 weeks. By the time I opened the portal, I allegedly owed $3,150. Her name was Felicity Brooks, and she specialized in HOA disputes out of an office on the 4th floor of a glass building downtown. She had the calm, deliberate energy of someone who had seen every version of this story and never once been surprised. She sent the HOA a formal cease and desist letter within the week, citing the fraudulent bylaw reference, the invalid retroactive fines, and the legally binding nature of the original architectural approval. She also noted that under state property law, any HOA enforcement action based on a non-existent rule constitutes an abuse of authority, creating potential personal liability for the board members who signed the notices. The next morning, I left for work at 7:40 a.m. I came home at 5:15 p.m. to find the power conduit running from my electrical panel to my generator had been severed, cut clean, a neat diagonal slice through the weatherproof cable housing. There was a laminated notice on my door. Unapproved electrical infrastructure removed per HOA maintenance. Authority: cost of removal, $480 charged to your account. I called Marcus Thorne first. He came out within the hour, photographed everything, and confirmed what I already knew. This wasn't a safety remediation. This was deliberate sabotage of permitted, inspected, legally installed electrical infrastructure. They physically cut it. Her voice was very still. "Did you document it?" Marcus is here now. Photos, measurements, the whole thing. Good. Don't touch anything. I'm filing an emergency injunction tonight. The injunction was granted the next morning. It ordered the HOA to cease all enforcement actions against my property and barred them from any further physical contact with my equipment pending a hearing. Evelyn called me that afternoon. You can't file injunctions over a generator, Arthur? This is childish. I didn't file it, I said. My attorney did. You'll receive the paperwork by end of day. We have the authority to cut permitted electrical infrastructure. On what authority, Evelyn? Section 7.11d. She hung up. 8 days after she cut my generator line, a massive ice storm swept through our county. Power went out at 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Not just our street, 4 square miles of neighborhood, dark and silent. My generator didn't come on because the line was severed, but that's not the whole story. Because Evelyn Harper lives 6 houses down, and her house had a whole home generator too, installed last spring without an architectural approval on file, without a county permit, and without a single violation notice. I watched from my window as neighbors knocked on her door. A woman with a newborn, an elderly man 2 doors down who used a CPAP machine, asking to charge devices, asking for warmth. She turned them away. At the HOA hearing 2 weeks later, the room was full, standing room only. Felicity presented the documents in precise order: the original 2016 architectural approval, the county permits, Marcus Thorne's inspection certification, the email chain including the phantom bylaw citation, and the document that made the room go very quiet: the county permit database printout showing that Evelyn Harper's generator had no permit, no approval, and no inspection on record. The HOA's attorney, Harrison Croft, tried to argue that the board had broad maintenance authority under the governing documents. Felicity let him finish. Then she opened her folder. The governing documents, she said, grant the HOA authority over common areas only. Mr. Pendleton's generator sits on his deeded private property, confirmed by this survey map and this title record. The HOA has no maintenance authority over private property. What occurred here was not maintenance. It was trespass and destruction of private property. Harrison Croft looked at his notepad. Evelyn said nothing. Her face was the color of old concrete. The arbitrator ordered all fines, $6,300 by that point, vacated. He ordered the HOA to fund the full repair of my generator connection at their expense, plus $2,200 in legal costs. He referred the unpermitted generator installation at 96 Birchwood Crest, Evelyn's address, to the county building department. Evelyn resigned from the board 11 days later. My generator connection was repaired on a cold Wednesday morning. When Marcus threw the test switch and the unit rumbled to life, he looked at me and grinned. "Beautiful sound," he said. "Best sound I've ever heard," I told him. If you made it to the end of this story, I want to ask you something. What would you have done the moment that violation notice appeared? Would you have fought or would you have folded? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you know someone living under an HOA that thinks the rules only apply to the people they choose, share this video. Because Ho Drama Neighbor exists for exactly this reason: to document, to educate, and to remind every single one of you that paperwork beats power grabs every time. Subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell, and we'll see you in the next one. They cut my line. The storm came anyway. And in the end, I was the only one who kept the lights on.